Welcome, butt wagons, to TP For Your Earholes. My name is Patrick Schmidt. I'm one of our two hosts.
Yes, and I'm number two.
Yeah.
My name is Charlene Schmidt.
And today we're taking a little detour into the possibilities of what might happen in Mike Judge's Beavis and Butt-head by discussing YouTube videos that we want Beavis and Butt-head to react to.
And we do this with the caveat that chances are very good this won't happen. Because once we suggest the idea, they can't take it.
Yes.
They would owe us money and they're not going to do that. And that's okay. This is all for funsies.
Yeah, and we're also highlighting some videos that I think really kind of fit the mood of Beavis and Butt-head, but they also don't really fit the genre of video that they normally react to, because they normally react to videos that don't have a lot of views. Most of the ones we're going to share today have a ton of views.
And I don't know about you, but I did not break my algorithm finding these videos.
No, me neither. These were very easy to find.
This was a cardinal rule I had going in was I'm not breaking my algorithm. I'd have to reset my whole history and everything all over again, start over from scratch. I'm sorry I was not willing to make that sacrifice today. Nevertheless, I think I came up with some entertaining videos.
Meanwhile, I just went to my YouTube favorites, found a few, and then started to think about, okay, what are the things that I like that really kind of hit that sort of Beavis and Butt-head sense of humor? And I think people underestimate, especially in reaction videos, how funny these two can be and actually how refined their tastes might be.
Say what?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to have to explain that, sir.
I was going to say, but before we get any deeper into that, we do have some housekeeping, and that is we need to let people know where they can find us for when the next episode comes out and they want to be the first to know. How can people do that, Char?
You can do it in a number of places, and you can go to Blue Sky, Instagram, or Facebook. Our handle is TP For Your Earholes at each of those places. You can reach out there. You can keep up with the latest updates. You can tell us how wrong we are about our video picks if you really want. And you can also follow us on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe there. We really appreciate that, especially if you're listening there. And if you want to reach us directly, you can also do that. Go to tpforyourearholes.com where you'll find the full archive of all of our past episodes and a contact form, and that goes to us.
This week in particular, we do have a special request for our audience, and that is to go to tpforyourearholes.com maybe before you listen to any more of this episode. Why is that?
Well, we have a little bit of an ask.
Yes.
Because we are talking about YouTube videos, and we don't want YouTube to slap us with copyright restrictions and what have you, especially for the YouTube version of this podcast. We want you all to watch these clips just after we introduce them, if that's possible. Now, look, we understand that this is an audio podcast, and that might not be possible. Please, if you are driving, if you need to pay attention to something else, we totally get it. And that is why we're going to do our very best to describe what's happening in the videos so you have an idea of what's going on. But we hope that'll be enough to get you to watch these videos if you haven't, in fact, watched them already.
Yeah.
And the links to the videos we're talking about today, they're all going to be in the show notes. Easy to access, fun to watch. And especially with some of the longer ones, you don't have to watch the full thing. If you get a couple of minutes, you're going to catch the drift. But we're hoping that these are good enough to where you're going to want to watch all of it.
So Char mentioned watching the video before we talk about it. You could also just hit pause right now and go watch every single video and then come back to us. That is also a totally acceptable way to approach this episode because this is sort of a multimedia experience this week. And we can't provide all that media for you. Some other beautiful, kind folks have already done that on YouTube. So that's the other thing is we want to hook them up with some views too. So that's where we're at this week. Hopefully that's cool. And welcome back. You've paused. You've watched everything. You've come back.
Maybe.
welcome, and we are ready to get into the episode.
Let's do this. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You know what? I would love to go first.
Okay.
And we talked about Beavis and Butt-head's refined humor palette.
Yes, go on.
So let's start with, I think, the ultimate in refinement of humor. Watching people get hit in the face with a ball.
Now you're talking.
And if you are any sort of YouTube aficionado, you know the best video for somebody getting a ball to the face is Scott Sterling.
I rewatched this just to refresh myself this morning for our recording purposes. And man, is this shit funny. It does not fail. Just when you think that can't make it any possibly worse, oh yes, they do. And it's great.
It is. It's great. And there's actually 2 videos. There's Scott Sterling, the goalie, which is the one I recommend that Beavis and Butt-head react to because that's the OG one. There's also Scott Sterling, the volleyball player, and they are both really, really good. And I think hit that humor mark that Beavis and Butt-head would really appreciate.
Not only would Beavis and Butt-head appreciate this, but I think we as people, and certainly our audience at large, I think we can all appreciate the fine art that is other people getting hurt. There's something amusing about that. There's something primally amusing about that just hits a certain funny bone. And every time it's not you, 1, you're grateful, and 2, you're laughing.
And it does pain me to put this one on the list a little bit as a graduate of the University of Wyoming, because this does come from BYU TV. But you know what? Still, mad props to them. They did an amazing job. And I really do think Beavis and Butt-head would be absolutely rooting in the same way that the announcers are rooting in that video. I think it's really just a no-brainer.
Eventually, right? Because at first, my thought is, this is sports. Why are they going to watch sports? They're not going to be into watching sports. Or are they? The moment there's a ball to the face, that's it, they're in.
Yep, exactly right.
And then they'll keep watching, and it keeps getting better from there, and then they're sold.
Yeah, this popped up in their recommendations, and they have no idea why. It just auto-played, and okay. And then all of a sudden, Scott Sterling!
Right? And I can totally hear them shouting it, at least maybe by the 3rd round. If
Yes.
not the 4th, if it takes a little while, but Scott Sterling is definitely going to be their hero.
Of course. And that's why I think it'd make a great video for them to react to.
And it would be fun for us to watch them reacting to it.
That's the real key.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to kick your list off with?
You know, I want to kick off my list with something I watched for the first time this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally calling an audible here. This was something I did not have on my original set of 5. And then I saw this video and I thought, you know what? Beavis and Butt-head would love this. I have to add it to my list. I'm going to have to scratch something else off that I had on here previously. And I'm going for it. And this is the Super Mario Brothers condom trumpet. If you've not seen the video, it's this guy who attaches a condom to his trumpet and plays the Super Mario Brothers theme as long as he can. And granted, that's a lot of pressure. Gets pretty far until the condom breaks. It's beautiful.
And I had never seen this video before either. I was super surprised that I'd never stumbled into this one, but absolutely. And you can tell one of the things that drew me to agreeing with you that this would be an excellent choice is that you can tell it's ribbed for her pleasure with a reservoir tip. No?
And you know they would comment on that, right?
Of course, they already have. Like, that's one of the classic lines of this series. And I think that this would be a great time to resurrect that memory.
Heck yeah. It's a very subtle callback to Beavis and Butt-head, but also the 90s at large. I mean, really, I think Garth from Wayne's World really solidified that line. Where he says, ribbed for her pleasure. Ew. Nevertheless, like if you were there, you know, and it's funny.
And it's a great video to react to because you can absolutely see them having fun with that.
there's a lot of angles that you can go at. You can talk about the condom. You can talk about the fact that this guy is playing an instrument and he's like blowing into the condom. I mean, there's definitely ways that the boys could go about this. And my question, though, to both of us as the hosts of this show is this teenage Beavis and Butthead that are commenting on this one? Because I think it is, but I want to raise the question.
Yeah, it's going to be different if it's teenage Beavis and Butthead or old Beavis and Butthead reacting for sure.
Yes, and I think that young Beavis and Butthead are the better candidates for this one. But with these being YouTube videos, let's not forget, we're going to be basically talking about the Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead era, meaning we've got teenage Beavis and Butthead, smart Beavis and Butthead, and old Beavis and Butthead in play. We could go with any of these, all of these. Like sometimes there's more than one fit, but I would love to discuss that. So, what is next on your list?
So I'm going to go with an oldie but a goodie. This is a video from 2010. And so it is old school YouTube. And it's one of my favorites. I still will watch it like once a year. And that is the English language in 24 accents. And it's by, I had to double check because I remembered his username, but I didn't know that he had a real name.
He just has a username, that's all.
So it turns out his real name is Jake Wardle. He's from somewhere in the UK or Ireland or something. I mean, English, Irish, what's the difference, right?
Watch the video and find out.
But he does 24 English accents, and I think it's a great jumping off point for Beavis and Butthead to try to do some accents, and I didn't know that that was something I needed in my life until I put these two together, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to try to do the same thing. I want Beavis and Butthead accents, and I want it yesterday.
1,000%. Me too. Me too. I want to see them try this. I want to see them fail horribly, at least a good half of them, and then I really want them to nail something like the redneck accent, where the guy is really trying to sound a little dumber.
Yes.
And he is playing into stereotypes for the record. He acknowledges this in the video. Beavis and Butthead absolutely nail it, and that's the one they're brilliant at. That would be hilarious. No disrespect to those with like a redneck or a southern accent or anything like that.
Yeah, I would also love to see them fail on a whole bunch of them, but then nail the Russian accent or something like that.
I could see Beavis doing that for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
He's really good at like French kind of accents. Russian would be a kind of a wild card to throw out there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just want to mostly see them try to be inspired, try and fail at accents, but also think they're really good.
Yes.
They think they're amazing.
Yes, this is the fine line they'd walk.
Yeah. I can't wait for it.
Oh, it'd be brilliant.
All right, what do you got next?
I also have a YouTube classic
Nice.
that I want to throw out there. And this is David After the Dentist. If you don't know this video, this is the kid who has been to the dentist, got some laughing gas, and is asking his dad all sorts of questions like, is this going to be forever? Things are not right, and he knows it. And then my personal favorite, of course, is this real life?
Yes. We've said that more than once in our house.
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of houses since this was made in, 2008?
Yeah, something like that.
This kid is now a fully grown adult.
Yes.
And I saw an update on Good Morning America or something. They interviewed him and his dad. And yeah, this kid is now a full-fledged adult living his life and having a good time. And nevertheless, this was a big moment that everybody in the day knew about on YouTube. It was one of those things that went super viral. And it's adorable. And I would love to know what Beavis and Butthead would have as far as takes on it. Would they be laughing at the kid, or would they be talking about their own experiences? Like, we know Butthead has had laughing gas at least once.
True.
He could maybe talk about his experience and what that was like. How does that contrast with what they're seeing on the screen? There's places you could go.
So, random question, and I believe that some superfan may have an answer for us. We know Butt-head has obviously done orthodontia. He has braces.
Yeah.
Has Beavis ever had braces or not?
At least not that we have seen.
The only time I can think about maybe they might have shown him wearing braces is during the It's a Miserable Life episode when they show him at each Christmas.
Oh,
but I can't remember if Beavis has ever had braces or not. And if Beavis has never had braces, Beavis may have never been to a dentist
in his life. Now, see, that could be fodder for even more conversation.
Yes.
This strikes me as an old Beavis and Butt-head discussion, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh,
yeah.
That changes everything.
Old Butt-head recalling the laughing gas and like, that was really cool. And then Beavis like, yeah, I'd love to do that if I could get to a dentist.
Yep, I hear it now.
Yes, it could be a very good time. What's next on your list?
It is no secret in our house that we are pretty big fans of Dropout.
Dropout TV. Yes, we are.
And what we particularly like about Dropout is that it's smart. It's smart comedy, which is sometimes diametrically opposed to how people see Beavis and Butt-head. And I want to kind of flip that on its head, and I want the boys to watch, the boys, not old, teenage Beavis and Butt-head to watch the Game Changer episode Like My Coffee, which is on YouTube. And I want to see them react to people who actually make very smart, funny sexual innuendos and see how they react to that. How do they react to somebody who's making these smart kind of jokes versus what they normally make, which is obviously the stupid, obviously the lowbrow, obviously like the low-hanging fruit. What happens when they're confronted with somebody who, like a Jess Ross, who goes for a very obscure reference? Would they just stare? Would they laugh so the other one doesn't think they're stupid? I don't know, and I think it would be thrilling to watch that unfold.
It could be a lot of things, in fact. I do think there would be at least one reaction where they are just, straight face, not laughing, blank stare. That's not funny. You know what is funny? And then they try to come up with their own innuendo.
Yes.
And then as they get on, my question is, this is a 30-minute game show episode. Yep. And they can't show the whole thing, obviously, as a little segment on Beavis and Butt-head. What parts of the show would you really want them to comment on? Because I feel like they'd skip around a little bit.
Yeah, I do think they would skip around too. And I think they'd have to start with, I like my lovers like I like my coffee, because that's the first one out of the gate. I think you'd have to start there.
Sure.
And I also want them to do non sequiturs, right? Things that are not funny. Like, I like my lovers like I like my coffee with big boobs.
And see, I just laughed.
That's the kind of thing Beavis would say, right? Because he doesn't get that's what they're trying to do, is create some sort of double pun that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I find that thrilling. And I don't know. I don't know what other parts they would find interesting, or would they get so frustrated or think it's so not funny that it would be one of those things they'd turn off after a minute?
I don't know. I kind of skipped around today and just looked at various aspects of the show. I think the sex toy or dog toy aspect would be prime fodder for this clip.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, seeing them try to guess how a dog would use any of these objects or possibly use it as a sex toy could lead to a lot of, problems. I mean, we've already seen old Beavis try to create his own sex doll out of recycled, melted microwave plastic.
Yeah.
So you start with that and you go from there. I mean, all bets are off, man.
True. But I do think, there's a lot of opportunities because, it is a 30-minute thing and they could only do maybe 2 minutes tops. But all kinds of opportunity for very smart, dumb, smart.
Yeah, you can cycle through so many things in this little segment.
Or dumb, smart, dumb. And I can't wait. I'd love to see that. I think that'd be hilarious.
Right? Honestly, if we had the ear of the folks writing the show, this would be a pitch. Is find a way to get the rights for Dropout from Sam Reich to show a clip on Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead and make this happen. And we would be so happy. And it would introduce Beavis and Butthead fans to Dropout, maybe vice versa. And hey, cool.
And I would watch an episode of Make Some Noise where Mike Judge was on there.
Oh, hell yeah.
There we go.
Hell yeah. Could we have him as a special guest, please?
The crossover we didn't know we needed. Yeah.
Oh,
Here
I
we
want
are.
it.
All right, what do you got next?
All right, the next one is an old YouTube mainstay, at least in my subscriptions. And this is from the Try Guys. Y'all remember them?
Who? Yeah.
I know. Yeah, there was that whole scandal thing that rocked them a few years ago, and they've kept on doing their thing since. And I have a feeling smart Beavis and Butthead would have a really good time watching the hairiest guys these guys know get bikini waxes.
Oh. that was a shiver that just went up my spine.
Yeah, they wax everything in this video, so you'd have to skip around a little bit. But smart Beavis and Butthead, being who they are, and being fairly smooth-skinned themselves, might be really grateful that this is not a necessity for them.
I think there's opportunities for both teenage Beavis and Butthead and old Beavis and Butthead to also be inspired in the completely wrong ways.
Ooh, do tell. How so?
Oh, they're putting wax. Let me go get a candle. Oh, I can't find a candle. Here's some super glue.
Oh, I love this. This sounds like a young Beavis and Butthead thing.
Yeah. So there's an opportunity there.
I have a take on old Beavis and Butthead, too, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, where old Beavis and Butthead are going to comment, why are these guys waxing off their hard-earned hairs? Like, I was thrilled when I got chest hair. And what do you mean you're getting rid of your pubes? What the hell?
And then Beavis is like, I can't wait for my chest hair to come in.
And it never did. Spoilers.
What a sad mud.
Poor Sab Mud.
But that would be a good one. I agree. I think it'd be fun for them to kind of pick that apart and draw parallels to their own life. Absolutely. And I do think a smart Beavis and Butthead reaction to that would be like, why these droll humans, what are they doing?
Yes. We have evolved beyond hair.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. This looks painful.
But then they also give it a try anyway because they're like, well, maybe they're onto something.
Is pain pleasure? Let's find out for science.
That was not pleasurable.
Never mind. Click.
Yep.
Okay, we just wrote it.
Yeah. Once again, we have proved we are the superior beings.
It's true. It's true, guys.
As they have little bits of blood dripping off them.
Of course. Well, they're going to have to go for the most sensitive parts, too, right?
Yes.
So, armpits, crotch, chest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the next one you've got?
Okay, so speaking of crossovers, there was an MTV crossover that we missed.
What's that?
Beavis and Butthead ended. Jackass began. Jackass ended. Beavis and Butthead came back. There's never been a Beavis and Butthead Jackass crossover moment, and we've missed that. And I think it's time to do something about that.
It's time to join these two massive forces of MTV.
Yeah.
You're right. They have never coexisted.
And I think it would be a great opportunity for Beavis and Butthead to react to a Jackass clip. And the one that I'm going to throw out there is from Jackass 3D, the movie, where it's right at the beginning of the movie, and it's the giant hand,
yes.
the spring-loaded hand that hits everyone as they come through the door. Watching Beavis and Butthead react to that would be so satisfying.
And you know it would end with somebody slapping somebody else in the face.
Yes.
For sure. My favorite thing from that whole clip is when Johnny Knoxville is reacting to oh, I forget who it is who has the soup, and he fell for the soup.
Oh, yeah.
The way he says that.
Yeah,
He's so
Aaron.
giddy.
Yep, Aaron holds the soup. And yeah, I do think there's this crossover between that hand and, dare we call it, that hand job that we see in the Jackass 3D movie and the slapping of Beavis and Butt-head. Like, Beavis and Butt-head walked so Johnny Knoxville could run.
For real, they set the stage.
And it's only fair to have the OG slappers react to the new slappers.
I think so. Yeah, how and why has this not happened yet? For real, though.
I don't know. Here we are. Here we are.
Okay. Just saying, this should have happened decades ago.
And just saying, the rights are under the same company.
Would that not make it a hell of a lot easier? I mean,
It seems to me.
seems like in the 2011 reboot, they could have done this instead of some Jersey Shore or some Teen Mom, throw Jackass into the mix. Why didn't they?
By the way, I do want to make sure that everyone on this episode is 100% clear. We are never going to recommend that Beavis and Butt-head react to ridiculousness.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, that's a little too far. And even though they would make fun of it eventually, and it would be hilarious, still no.
Yeah, it was too much. And
No.
we have moved past that as a society. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Really, I mean, if you're going to go for something like that, you might as well go with the OG and do America's Funniest Home Videos, and then they can rip Saget a new one, which he fully deserves.
Rest in peace.
I believe I've only got 2 more, right?
Sounds just about right. What do you got?
Okay. Well, there is a show that you introduced me to long ago that I have since adored, and we still, on a rare occasion, will catch it every now and again. And this is the Japanese show MXC.
Yes, MXC.
If you've not seen this show, maybe you've seen Wipeout here in the States. It's a lot like that, where people do obstacle courses, and the whole idea is to basically make them fall and biff it, usually into a body of water or some pile of mud or what have you. And it's funny every time. And you adore this. I adore this. There's a reason why this is a popular thing among people. And of course, Beavis and Butt-head would also adore this. It might be the best TV show they have ever seen. Because, as we've already mentioned on this show, there is something just primal and enjoyable about watching other people completely fall down, lose their shit, whatever, and faceplant into a body of mud.
Yes. Especially when it's not you, and especially when it's somebody you don't know. All of a sudden, it's 10 times funnier.
Definitely. Yeah, especially as long as it's not you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it would make for some good reactions, and you have a specific video in mind. What is it?
It is the 25 most painful eliminations on this show, where contestants have
Yay.
lost out because they missed, and they had the biggest, I suppose, consequences.
Yes.
For their actions. It's basically just a clip reel, and there's a lot that you can choose from. If you just go on YouTube and search for MXC, you can even see live feeds of the show from time to time. So I just picked this one as a best of.
Good call. All right. Well, I've only got one more left on my list. It's the most obscure, the least watched, but one of the funniest videos on YouTube to me to this day. My sense of humor has not changed since I was 11. And no, YouTube was not around when I was 11, but this is the kind of stuff I would have laughed at, and it's Cookie Monster reversed.
Oh, hell yeah. This is a classic.
Yeah, and I can't wait for them to try to figure out what's wrong, right? Because it's the whole video, it's only like a minute and a half long, and it's just a few clips of Cookie Monster, and he's reversed, so instead of nomming the cookies, it's like he's throwing full cookies up out of his throat and onto a plate.
Right.
And it's just hilarious, but I want them to think it's just a regular episode and then like halfway through be like, wait, something's different here. Cookie Monster is there's something wrong with him. And maybe they never fully figure it out. And they're like, wow, like this show has really gone downhill.
This isn't the Sesame Street I remember.
Yep.
Yeah. What's wrong with Cookie Monster? Like, is this the drug intervention episode or something? My favorite thing, though, from the whole thing is at the very end where he goes, doof!
Yeah.
Food in reverse. And I do have a visualization of Beavis thinking, I wonder if I could do that. You remember that music video segment where he could speak backward?
Oh, right. Yes.
I wonder if he would try something like this just to see if he could do it, how he would mess it up, if he'd mess it up.
And I'm very curious to see if they would catch on and be like, doof, and the word food is on the screen. Would they catch it?
No, doof is spelled backwards.
No, it's not.
Or is it?
All right, what do you got?
Okay, my very last one is kind of I don't know, it's kind of gross, but it's still safe for TV. And it's 2 years of clogged ears. This is a YouTube short with some older lady getting her ears cleaned at a doctor's office. And if you've ever watched something like Dr. Pimple Popper, where you see people get rid of like just nasty things out of their body, this is a video you will love.
Yay!
This came across in my recommendations somehow. I don't know how. And I watched it and I thought, Beavis and Butt-head might enjoy this because as the water is going through your ear to remove the wax, like little chunks of it come out and it looks strange. And especially if you don't know what it is, I could see them talking about how like, what is this doctor drilling into the lady's brain? And why does the water look like urine? Is her brain full of piss? What the hell? And I could see a good commentary coming out of a video like this. And I don't think we have seen much of a medical video on Mike Judge's Beavis and Butt-head yet. And this is a huge subgenre in YouTube. It needs to happen.
Yeah, this is very true. If there's a medical thing you want to see, you can find it on YouTube and you can find multiple versions of it. Like, we've fallen into a few of those ourselves. It's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, chiropractors cracking backs, cyst extractions, earwax extractions, you name it.
Yeah.
It's available.
One of the scariest ones, if y'all want to go down this rabbit hole, is neti pots.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and that could even be a Beavis and Butt-head reaction video, but we're going to have to put a pin in that and save that for next time.
Yes, because unfortunately, folks, this one is done. These are our picks. What would you want Beavis and Butt-head to comment to? What are some of your favorite videos that you think would make great commentary on Beavis and Butt-head? Please let us know. Patrick, how can people do that? Please remind the folks.
Well, we have several social platforms. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Blue Sky, we're also on YouTube at TP For Your Earholes, all of those places, and then tpforyourearholes.com to be able to reach us directly, and of course, to get all the show notes from every episode.
That's right.
Now, normally this is where we would tell you what's happening next week. We don't know what's happening next week.
Oh, we're losers.
We didn't plan that far ahead, but we are going to come up with something special. And we always do, we always will, and we don't know what that is yet, but trust us.
We'll deliver.
Till then.